Have you ever tried to assemble something without instructions? Years ago, we worked with a ministry that got a great deal on some office furniture, I guess from China. And when the furniture arrived, it was my responsibility to put the stuff together. There were no instructions at all. No pictures, no nothing. And I would have really appreciated some guidance, some instructions. Well, thankfully, the Lord hasn't left us without guidance or instructions. Psalm 19 tells us that while creation reveals his glory, his word reveals his wisdom. Verse 8 gives us this incredible statement. It says, the Torah of Adonai is perfect, restoring the soul. That word perfect is tamim. It's whole, it's complete, it lacks nothing. The Lord's instructions aren't outdated or arbitrary. They are whole, bringing life, restoring the soul. That's what his living word does. It brings back what's broken. It revives the weary. And not only that, it says the testimony of Adonai is trustworthy, making the simple wise. The word for simple here refers to someone who's naive or inexperienced. Someone who doesn't know that they don't know. And yet when in our naivete we walk in his word, it gives us wisdom. How often do we chase after things that don't satisfy? We pursue knowledge and success or approval, thinking that will bring us joy. Psalm 19:9 says, the precepts of Adonai are right, giving joy to the heart. Real joy is found in walking in his ways. And if that's not enough, it says God's word purifies us. The commands of Adonai are pure, giving light to the eyes. His commands sift and sort. They clear away confusion and distractions. They remove what blinds us and brings clarity. But here's the big question. If his word is perfect and wise and pure and joy-giving, why do we so often ignore it? In Romans 1:21, Paul says that the people saw the evidence of God but refused to glorify him. Instead of seeking his wisdom, they chose to walk in their own ways. That's what we do when we resist God's word, when we treat it like an optional extra instead of our lifeline. Psalm 19:11 says, moreover, it says, by your word your servant is warned. That word warned means it's brought into clarity, like a bright light revealing the path ahead. God's word isn't meant to restrict us, it's meant to guide us. It says, in keeping them there is great reward. During the Sermon on the Mount, Yeshua taught the very heart of God's instructions. He taught the why behind the what. He moved from the actions to the motives, to what's in our hearts. And Hebrews 4:12 says that when God speaks, his word is like a two-edged sword. It gets down to our motives. Right? That's what Yeshua, the living word, was doing, getting down to our heart. And when he finished that sermon, Yeshua didn't say, well, hope you all enjoyed that teaching. Have a nice day. No, he left his listeners with a choice. He said, everyone who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Simply knowing God's heart for our lives isn't enough. The wise one is the one who hears and obeys. James or Jacob echoes this. He says, be doers of the word and not hearers or readers only, deluding yourselves. It's self-deception to listen to God's word but not live it. The problem isn't that we lack access to the truth. The problem is when we hear it, if we don't apply it. If there's an area in your life where God's word has been calling you to obedience, but you've hesitated, take action. Be a doer of the word. Don't just admire the foundation. Build on it. Because when we walk in his word, when we stand firm, we can stand firm no matter what comes.